So Final Fantasy 16 is one of those games that I'm really excited for to come out for the PS5. And the last we heard of Final Fantasy, at least for like any trailers regarding it, was a year ago, almost 2 years ago. And with the recent announcements of showcases that are going to be live streamed for next month on June, and especially State of Play, I am pretty sure we're all expecting some Final Fantasy 16 news. Some might be expecting Final Fantasy 7 Part 2 news. I think in general, I am really looking forward to Final Fantasy 16. For the past weeks, we have already come to know that I think last month or so, Final Fantasy 16 is already in its final stages of development. They already have the trailer already ready and done, and the only logical way they're going to reveal it is in a PlayStation State of Play. And the State of Play got announced a few days ago, and the State of Play is going to be live streamed on June 2nd, so later this week. So most likely it's going to be Final Fantasy 16, hands down. And if not, well, that's gonna be just fucking disappointing, to be honest. There's other rumors saying that Forspoken. There's rumors saying Forspoken will be delayed once again, and instead of Forspoken being released this year, they're trying to make Final Fantasy 16 replace the release date of Forspoken, so later this fall maybe. If we do get Final Fantasy 16 this year, I'll be so happy. I'm so down to play. And if not, no worries. I want this game to be polished, for them to take their time. Actually, we might even get not just 16, we might also get Final Fantasy 7 news this week as well, because I forgot there's rumors also saying that Part 2 will also be revealed along with 16. If that's the case, I'm so down. We might most likely get a teaser trailer for Part 2 of FF7 and a full-on trailer for FF16, so hopefully that might be the case. So why am I excited for Final Fantasy 16? I mean, I think it's pretty much obvious, right? I'm not a big Final Fantasy fan. The only Final Fantasy games I ever played are FF15, FF7 Remake, and that's it. That is my history with the Final Fantasy series. Those are the only games I actually played. I think I might have played 13, Lightning's Return, but like the demo of it a long ass time ago. So, I'm not a big fan of the Final Fantasy series. However, I do know of it. It is turn-based, and I'm not really a big fan of turn-based games, to be quite honest. I do like some. There's some games that I did play that have turn-based, but turn-based is not really my cup of tea. I'm pretty sure you guys all know that, but I don't hate it at all. And one of the reasons why I'm so excited for 16 is because they really are relying on action for the gameplay, hands down. Most of all the Final Fantasy games I always been turn-based, and with the recent Final Fantasy games, Final Fantasy 15 and Final Fantasy 7 Remake, their combat is leaning more to more action-based combat. Final Fantasy 15 had that combat already where it's action, it's not turn-based. It is an action RPG type of game. The combat was fun. However, the combat did feel a little bit, a little weird at times, a little bit clunky at times. But there were some cool moves you were able to perform. And I think the best parts, if not the best parts of that game, was doing cool action sequences with your boys. It was the most badass and more stylish finishers ever. It was one of the best parts of Final Fantasy 15, hands down. And when the Final Fantasy 7 Remake combat, it was leaning more towards action. You had your normal attacks, you had your specials, you could do magic. So it was leaning more to action. Of course, in some situations, the combat did feel a little bit clunky at times, a little bit weird, especially air combat. Holy shit, I hated air combat. and now with Final Fantasy 16, they're going full on action. They got full on action, and then it looks sick. It looks awesome. It looks stylish as hell. It looks like you have a dodge button that actually works as a dodge button, to be honest. And what I mean by that is that in Final Fantasy 7 Remake, when you dodge, but you still take damage even during your dodge. You don't really have iframes in your dodge. So hopefully here you do. Oh, it looks, you cannot tell me this does not look so cool, dude. This looks badass. This looks cool. So yeah, it is focusing more on character action for its gameplay, and I'm all in for it. You know me, I love my action games. I see anything if their gameplay resembles anything character action based, I'm gonna be excited for it. Because this is the only gameplay that we have so far. And looking at the gameplay, we have launchers, right? We have launchers, we have air combat. And we have what it looks to be jump cancel. Maybe. As we see our character, we see this like a little black spot here that looks to be a jump cancel. Or it could be just a double jump, to be honest. It could just be a double jump, but maybe not. All right, we have our launcher, which looks sick as hell, which is a phoenix swing. It's so badass. And during it, he pulls the enemy and he jumps off of him. It looks like a jump cancel, or it could just be a double jump, or it could just be a jump or animation somehow. It looks to be like a jump cancel. I could be totally wrong on this, but it looks like it. It looks like it. All right, it definitely looks like it. If that is the case, if we have a jump cancel, god damn, it's gonna make combat so fun. But yeah, overall combat looks to be really cool, really fun. I want the combat to be fun. I just want to mess around, because for the longest time I thought of a Final Fantasy game with the character action based combat would be so much fun and a golden idea. And bada boom, here it is. My wish has been granted for me. Thank you very much. So yeah, I'm not sure how OG fans of Final Fantasy feel about the gameplay. That's what I thought was gonna be for Final Fantasy VII Remake, but no, they went full on action. And it looks like each new installment of Final Fantasy, it looks like they're going that route. And since I'm not a big long-time Final Fantasy fan, I do not mind it. I whatsoever. I'm all in for it. But I am curious how OG fans of the series feel about the gameplay changing. I always like the aesthetics of Final Fantasy. They always look just so cool. Each of the characters look so cool. The whole setting of each Final Fantasy game looks to be really cool and interesting. The whole world looks very cool. So I always been a fan of how Final Fantasy looked and the characters looked and everything. I just never played any of the OG Final Fantasy games. But now recently, I have been getting into the series of it. Am I considered a fan? I do like Final Fantasy VII. I do like Final Fantasy 15. Am I considered a fan? Do I have to play the OGs to be considered a fan? I don't know. And also, each of the Final Fantasy logos just looks so cool. Look at that. It's a phoenix and it's a behemoth, I think. I mean, that's just badass. Oh, does Stranger of Paradise counts as a Final Fantasy game? I mean, it has Final Fantasy in the title. I mean, I don't know if I can know. I still need to play that game though. So yeah, I just want to make a quick video talking about Final Fantasy 16 on why I'm excited for it. In a nutshell, it is just the combat that I'm really excited for. So expect a few videos on the showcases that are being live streamed over this week. Especially, I'm not gonna cover everything. I'm only gonna cover state of play, certain games, and the Bethesda and Microsoft showcase. Only those three. So basically, just 3 videos in total. I'm expecting some other games, like I guess God of War Ragnarok, a little bit more of God of War Ragnarok, and shit, I think that's it. Yeah, there are some other games, like maybe they'll show me some Wolverine, more Spider-Man 2, you know, stuff like that. But the main big course I'm looking forward to is Final Fantasy. Ooh, maybe Dragon's Dogma 2 might be revealed this week, maybe. I don't know. It's been over a year now since Itsuno announced his new project, but I don't know. We'll see. I'm excited. But yeah, just a little quick video on what I'm excited for over this week, mainly Final Fantasy. Let me know what you're excited for. What are you hoping to see? Yeah, thanks for watching. I'll see you guys next time. Peace.